Hey guys, Will from Not an Expert here again with another video. This one we're gonna do something a little bit different. I want to talk about my printer and where I'm at now. I had purchased the printer midway through September and started my first YouTube video on the 20th, I believe. But we're gonna go over some of the things that I still love about the printer, some of the things that I'm struggling with even to this day. And then we're going to do a review of all of the projects that I've made so far. So let's go ahead and jump into it. Alright, so the first thing I wanted to talk about was the material that I currently am printing with and what I prefer and some of the problems that I'm having with another material. The current one that I'm working with is PETG, which you guys know if you've been following all the videos. That is where most of my successful prints came from. I've been using a white / clear PETG, and I think it's from like Sunlu, I believe is the Amazon company that I bought it from. Now most of my prints have turned out great as long as they didn't warp. And I now know why that is. It's because it's cooling unevenly throughout the print, or I'm printing too fast of a first layer. But anyway, so that's one of my favorite filaments that I've been using. Now, as for PLA, which is what most people commonly use for their printers, I haven't had much success with it really at all, and I believe there's just a few. I'm still getting to understand the slicer settings and everything, which that could be for another video. Aside from that, that's where I'm at with the filament and material and things like that. I've had a lot of failed prints with PLA, not so many with the PETG, which is kind of surprising to me because it seems like it would be harder to print, but I think I've gotten a little lucky with it. Let's go over some of the prints that I've come up with, and I'll tell you guys what the material is that I use for each print. So let's go ahead and start out with one of the first prints I ever did that was very successful. This was using the PETG, and it was the Wingman from Apex Legends. I love this. This is my favorite print by far, and it feels heavy. Very solid piece of plastic, but yeah, that's definitely my favorite. Next, using the same, I guess I'll get all the PETG ones out of the way, was another one of my favorite prints, was the Deathly Hollows. Now this is for Emily. I still haven't finished it yet. I want to sand it down a little bit, spray it with some primer, and possibly paint it black. I don't know what I want to do with it, but I think it turned out great, minus some of the, there's a little bit of, I guess it's called, not flashing, but ghosting, I believe is what it is, when the layer doesn't print right. I tried printing it very fast, but it did a great job in the middle details on the wand. So I love that piece. Very sturdy, minus the wand in the middle, but I think you'd get that with anything you use to print it. Here's the other PETG print. It was my Christmas TIE Fighter ornament that I have yet to clean up. I feel like it would look really cool if I would just get off my lazy butt and sand that down, do a little post-processing. And then the most recent one, well, I have something currently printing. I don't want to give it away quite yet, but if you guys can guess it, maybe I'll throw in a free print for you guys, as long as it's reasonable, but and I'll ship it out and do all that stuff. But this was the most recent one, was the miniature Pathfinder. It's not focusing because it's white and very reflective. There we go, little Pathy. So that's most of my PETG prints, minus the one that's going now, and I have more material on the way so I can finish that print. So let's go into some of the PLA stuff that I've used. The best PLA print that I've had, it's still pretty brittle, and I'm kind of upset that I didn't use PETG with this one, because this is the one that I wanted to, like, you know, wave around most, I guess, was my lightsaber. Anyway, it is very flimsy. If I wave it around too much, it will break. It looks great in the light, though. I had some metallic oil-based paint that I used to make it look metallic, but anyway, that was one of the better ones using PLA. There was still a lot of, like, layering issues. Here is a raw piece. This is what it looks like underneath all that paint. This piece, just one of the fittings, or one of the holes, I made the wrong dimension, so it didn't fit with the rest of the pieces that I printed. Now, I haven't really made a video of this one, but I should have. This was the mask from, it's a blue spirit mask from Avatar, The Last Airbender. I printed it in 3 pieces. You guys could probably already see it. So, piece number 1, and then actually 4 pieces, sorry. 1, 2, 3 lines there. So 1, 2, 3, 4 pieces. I think it looks pretty good. What it looks like. I don't have any straps on it yet, but yeah, that turned out fairly well. And to make this really quick, we're gonna get into some of the problems I'm still having with the printer. So to start, one of the biggest problems I had, and this was when I first got the printer the first week, was the extruder was not quite working as well as I wanted it to. But what's happening is the gears for the extruder are like slipping on the PLA, but not nearly as much with PETG, or when I'm going like at a very, very slow printing speed, then I don't get any kind of slippage at all. Another thing that I thought it was the, I believe it's called a Bozeman extruder tube. I think that's what the extruder I have is, but the tube that was with it, I believe there was a kink in it when I first started, so I had to trim it down quite a bit. But that was another problem. The other one, it's kind of a preference, and I feel like I don't need to expect this, because most printers that you get that are under $500 don't have this. But I wish that it had some kind of bed leveling system that wasn't just screws. I shouldn't really complain about it, but it would be nice to just press a couple of buttons and it senses where it's at on the build plate, using some kind of sensor. I don't know. The biggest issue that I've ran into this whole time is in order to get somewhat quality prints without stringing, I have to turn it down to like, it's super slow. It's like 4 to 10 millimeters per second. So most of my prints have been taking well over a day. This took almost 2 days to print. Very low infill. You can kind of see through it right now. But like I said, if you can guess what this is going to turn out to be, very specifically, like from, I'll give you a hint. It's from a game. If you guys can guess what it is, then I'll give you guys a DM and we'll figure that out, and I can send you one of my 3D prints, or I can make you a 3D print while I'm doing other projects. But if you guys have any tips for me or anything, please comment below. That is where I'm at with my printer currently. I'm very happy with it. There are things that I'm learning along the way, as with everybody, I guess they are. When they're 3D printing, it takes, probably a couple years to really get it down. For under $500, the JGAurora AS5 is a very awesome printer to start. It was pretty much plug and play, minus a couple of little things that I had to adjust and learn to get it to really print like this, something like this. But I'm very happy with it. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I know it's kind of long-winded, but just to give you an update of where I'm at with the printer, all my projects and things like that. I might have a different project summary video, like all my wood carvings and stuff later on. But I guess we'll go ahead and see you next week. Like, comment, and subscribe. Share this video. Sharing the video is like the biggest thing for me. I've noticed if you guys share it on Facebook or just take the link and put it on somewhere like Twitter or whatever, I don't know, retweet, do whatever you can to spread the word, because I could really use some help. Alright, thanks guys.
Doesn't mean that they don't love you. Well, that's all for today. Bye bye.